When paperwork comes first, people die. I often tell people that every site has its own personality. Some are loud. Some are quiet. Some pretend everything is fine while quietly bleeding risk through the cracks. But after 20 years in security risk assessments and hundreds of properties later, one thing has remained stubbornly consistent. It's not the criminals that surprise me anymore. It's the paperwork. Over the years, I've walked through factories at dawn, office parks after break-ins, estates still buzzing with police radios, and boardrooms where everyone speaks in careful corporate language while pretending nothing serious has happened. And somewhere in all of these places, red tape is always waiting. I can confidently say that Alwinco is the only truly independent security risk consultancy in South Africa and across Africa. Independence matters, but I'll come back to that. First, let me tell you how procurement usually begins. An RFQ lands in your inbox. You open it expecting clarity. Instead, you find the same forms you'd fill in if someone were buying desks or chairs. No distinction, no explanation, just boxes to tick. On paper, conducting a security risk assessment looks identical to purchasing furniture. But in reality, they couldn't be further apart. Buying furniture is a transaction. You compare prices, check delivery dates, and sign off. A security risk assessment is an investigation. It means gathering intelligence, speaking to informers, studying behavior patterns, walking perimeters, testing systems, mapping vulnerabilities, building threat profiles. Only then can you design solutions. Only then can you calculate costs. And throughout that process, you're not just protecting buildings or investments. You're protecting people. Yet procurement treats both processes the same. Equity-based selection works when you're buying office chairs. There are dozens of suppliers selling identical products. But when Alwinco is the only independent security risk assessment consultancy in South Africa, who carries responsibility for the damage when we're excluded because a box wasn't ticked? At that point, the question becomes uncomfortable. Are we really prepared to let someone die rather than appoint someone who doesn't meet a predefined demographic requirement? Red tape doesn't just delay protection, it removes it. And then there's time. This is where things become truly dangerous. We are often asked to submit proposals for massive projects within 3 or 4 days, sometimes less. I've been given 5 days to complete assassination risk assessments for 5 different individuals. 5 days. Let that sink in. An assassination assessment is not a checklist. It requires deep intelligence gathering, behavioral analysis, movement tracking, environmental studies, and layered contingency planning. On top of this, an assassination assessment is basically 3 assessments in one. This entire process takes place at the workplace, the VIP's home, and their travel routes. Rushing this process doesn't make it efficient. It makes it shallow. So I always ask myself the same quiet question. If the time frame is this short, how important is the person really? How valuable is the property? How critical are the investments? How high profile is this VIP? Because optimal protection takes time. Anything less is theater. You cannot meaningfully protect someone while racing a deadline set by procurement. And yet these compressed timelines have become normal. People assume it's just calculations and pricing. They don't see the nights spent analyzing patterns, the calls made to informers, the site visits, the scenario modeling, the thousands of questions we work through during a proper assessment. Yes, thousands, roughly 3,000 per project. But procurement wants it wrapped up by Friday. Sometimes the RFQ is written by someone with no security background at all. In those cases, I genuinely feel sorry for them. They've been handed responsibility for something they were never trained to understand. Other times, the outcome has already been decided, and the RFQ exists purely for legal cover. Either way, procurement departments across South Africa, from schools and universities to corporates and state-owned entities, are quietly gambling with lives and investments. I once lost a job in Johannesburg because procurement rules deemed me the wrong race. We didn't fight it. By now, we know better. 2 weeks later, criminals emptied the facility. Every computer gone. The hardware was replaceable. 30 years of data was not. The next day, the director called and asked me to start a security risk assessment immediately. Suddenly, race no longer mattered. Yes, we eventually got the job, but first we had to lose a battle against crime. That is red tape in action. Criminals don't wait for approval. They don't care about your procurement policies. You could tape your regulations to the front gate and it wouldn't slow them down by a second. They won't read them and they definitely won't feel sympathy. It's also become clear that not everyone inside organizations truly cares about long-term well-being. This is especially visible in state-owned entities, where responsibility for security is often treated like an administrative chore instead of a duty. When something goes wrong, accountability quietly evaporates. Here is what it ultimately comes down to. When choosing someone to prevent crime, only one thing matters. Can they conduct an independent security risk assessment? Can they perform a comprehensive investigation that identifies risks before criminals exploit them? Everything else is noise. Independence matters because we don't sell equipment. We aren't tied to security companies. We don't chase sales targets. We don't protect reputations. We tell the truth, even when it makes boardrooms uncomfortable. While others see paperwork and budgets, we see people, livelihoods, and futures. Technology has evolved. AI has changed procedures. Communication between systems and between humans and systems has become critical. This work grows more complex every year. Yet procurement still treats it like buying furniture. South Africans need to face a simple reality. Criminals don't play by the rules, and neither should your security and safety.